Thanks for watching. Today we're taking a look at the Axial SCX10 version 2. It's almost like you're watching a rerun of a couple of weeks ago, except that this is the Trail Honcho. Axial is doing a great job, I think, in diversifying the SCX10 2 range a tiny bit. So right now we got the Cherokee, we got the Cherokee as like a builder's kit. We got the CRC JK, that's the one that you've most recently seen, the one that I hacked up completely and hot glued and shoe glued it back together. And right now we also have the Trail Honcho. I think that this is an awesome release. And why do I think that? Because this is the first SCX10 that I had. It looked exactly like this. That's also a lot of people started complaining about that, going like, yeah, but it's exactly the same body. Now, a few weeks ago, people were complaining, no, not another Jeep. I think this is actually awesome. So this is basically sort of like an homage to the first SCX10. And to see it coming out right now with like all of the goodness of the SCX10 version 2, I think is a great thing. Another good thing about this truck is price point, $329. So this one sits like at the bottom of the range. After that, I believe you have the ready to run, the gray one, or maybe I got that twisted, so it could also be the kit. But anyway, one of the two Cherokees, and then at 409 at top of the range is that CRC the JK that you've seen most recently. So this for $329 to get like a complete truck is really, I think, a super sharp deal. You will see all of the close-ups of the box later because I'm getting really tired of holding boxes. You get a manual. Now, usually this is something that I skip really quick because I find manuals extremely boring. Pretty sure that this one will contain all of the information as well that you need to have. One thing that I am actually quite interested in is this sticker sheet. I know that I always say that I hate stickers, which is true, but this is actually a big sticker that you can basically turn your entire truck around looks-wise. So you can customize some cuts over here and make maybe like your own logo, your own shapes. I don't know, put it on the roof or put it on the doors, do something cool with it. And I think it's pretty funny that they included a Scale Builders Guild sticker in there as well. And I think well deserved. Also rccrawler.com. I'm glad that those forums are still in existence, and if you're not familiar with them, I highly recommend checking them out because there's a ton of knowledge on both of those forums. And I think that they do a great job of keeping the Axial brand going. So go check out those two forums. I'll put links to them in the video description. You get a huge bag of plastic parts, also some tools in there. So you get like a cross wrench. You got some battery clamp thingies. So it's like a tiny standoff in case you're running a shorter pack, which is most likely what I will be doing because I'm really liking my ProTech RC pack that I got for my venture. It's pretty much a small pack. It's still a 3-cell LiPo, 3600 milliamp, but it's a lot shorter, so it allows you to sort of transfer the weight a tiny bit if you want. This comes with a couple of light paths, so in case you want to run some extra lights or whatnot, or in case you want to change these out, you can actually go ahead and do that. Also comes with some glass for those lights. So I think that's also pretty cool because the glass is not installed, so it allows you to sort of finish up the look in case you want to sort of start personalizing it. Those stickers plus these plastics, just go figure it out a tiny bit, play around with it a tiny bit, and you can make this truck look sort of like custom right out of the gate. You get this tactic radio. If you have seen my Yeti Junior unboxing, you will be familiar with this little unit. I'm not too enthusiastic about this radio, to put it like that, just because I do a lot of filming and I like having the steering wheel pretty close to the handle. So for me this is quite a stretch with my thumb. Apart from that, this is a good radio, comfortable wheel. Its foam trigger position is pretty good, and it's tactic, so it does have a good range. You can find all of your trim switches and whatnot on top. And you can set it down pretty easily. Of course, this is one of the items that was changed out in order to sort of like hit that budget mark of $329. In case you want to upgrade it to one of those, what is it, a TTX 300, that you would get, for example, with the Cherokee or the JK. Not that big of a deal, because I see those radios go all the time for like 20-30 bucks used or as like a takeoff. So yeah, cool that it's included. If you want to upgrade it, really easy. That goes actually for the entire truck. I see a lot of people complaining about the plastic links. I don't think that that's anything to complain about. These are a lot stiffer than the links that you would find on the very first SCX10. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those. In case you're not, and don't bother go looking at those. This plastic is a whole lot stiffer. Now, what makes this a Trail Honcho is, of course, that Tacoma body, or it's not an officially licensed Tacoma body, but it does say Yoda Masters on the back, so that's a hint that it is actually a Toyota. I think that cab is really cool, sort of like timeless. What is it? Late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, I think it looks awesome. This cage as well in the back looks great. I have two of these cages. They've been in multiple cars. They're really easy to modify and really easy to put some fenders on it and whatnot. The bed on this one is different. In the previous Trail Honcho, you would get like a cutout for a spare wheel and then a spare tire carrier. So you could actually angle a spare and I don't know, sort of like fill it in like that. Now, this being flat or more angular will give you the opportunity, for example, mount some roto packs, sleeping bags, well, whatever you have, sand ladders. It's always cool to have some space, I think, to put some accessories. It has a faux fuel cell going on in the back. And then if you look at the front bumper, you will see immediately that there's two lights installed, and those actually function. So there's some LEDs pre-installed also in the back. So two white ones in the front, two red ones in the back, and it makes for some cool night running. And well, again, you know, at this price point, that's awesome. Stamped aluminum, sort of like a slider parts, make it look a tiny bit beefier in the front. This bumper sticks out quite a bit, but you still get quite a good approach angle. And it's such a, I don't know, such a characteristical point for those Trail Honchos that I'm glad to see this included again. If you take the body off, there's a ton of familiar stuff going on, of course. If you are familiar with an SCX102, in case you're not, I'll walk you through it real quick. Chassis mounted steering servo. This is actually really good servo. I'm still running mine in my ready to run. Don't expect a massive amount of torque, but it is up to the task. The only thing maybe down the line that you want to change out is the servo horn. The battery sits right next to that servo between those two shock hoops. So you can change that out a tiny bit in case you're running short packs. You can mount one of those studs that you find in the back to ensure that your battery isn't going to slide around. This is an AX10 transmission. Big benefit of this one over the first generation ready to run transmission that you would find in your SCX10 version 2, that was a long sentence, I hope I actually got that right, is that all of the hardware that goes in the bottom has the same length, so you don't have to keep track of your screws and potentially mess that up. Inside, plastic gears, in case you want to upgrade that, $7, not a big deal at all. Again, you know, that's just to get that price point down. 35 turn brushed motor. You get a 2 or 3 cell capable ESC. So this thing is waterproof. This is the AE5L, and the L then stands for those light connectors being sort of like built into the ESC. So you see some wires going on to the back and then to the front. Those are actually hooked up to the ESC, so that's also your sort of like light unit, if you want to put it like that. Waterproof receiver box over here with inside that Tactic receiver, and then you have well, that got introduced with the SCX10 version 2. This pretty big floorboard, so this allows you to do some shifting in case you want to put your ESC on the other side or whatnot, or if you have, for example, a sound module. I'm not a big fan of those, but you can mount that over here. Now, the biggest difference compared to what we've seen so far with the SCX10-2s is going on in the bottom, not just with these new plastic links. And not with these drive shafts, because these are regular wild bores as you would have found them on every other truck, but it's mostly in the axles. These are a single piece axle housing, so there's a truss built into it to give it some extra rigidity, and then the lockouts have completely disappeared. This is one big piece, allows for some less breakage and some more clearance. So I think that that's pretty cool. Front as well, the C-hubs are like built into that axle, so it is one piece. I have had in the past with my ready to run that my C-hubs, that the screw came undone a tiny bit and that they shifted position, which will leave you with some really weird wheel angles, and that's a problem of the past with this setup right here. So I think it's pretty cool. You don't get CVDs in the front. These are the regular dog bones. Steering links are all plastic. But again, all of that stuff really easy to change out in case you want to start upgrading it. The shocks, plastic bodied, faux piggybacks. These are pretty decent shocks for a ready-to-run truck. Absolutely nothing to really complain about. The tires, licensed tires, Falcon Wild Peak tires on some Method rims, plastic rims of course, glued tires. They actually feel a lot softer than the Nitto tires that you found on the JK, on the CRC, the most recent release. And I think it's always cool to see some new licensed tires hitting the market. Or I'm not sure if they're completely new, but at least I don't have a set like this yet. So yeah, overall I think you get a whole lot for your money. This is not a truck for somebody who already has like 5 or 6 SCX10 versions. This is really for somebody who is new to the hobby, who wants something that looks a tiny bit different, who wants to have that axial experience, and who just wants to have a truck that's pretty much headache free, easy to upgrade when you do get around to that. This is plug and play. So I think it is cool to see it hit the market. In case you want to have more information about this Axial SCX10 version 2 Trail Honcho, go check out the link in the video description box. I will make sure that there's a link over there to Axial Racing's website where you can read up on more of the specs and whatnot. In case I really overlooked something, please let me know in the comments box, or in case you have some questions as well, let me know. I always reply. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. I'm not one to start 17 different channels to which you hopefully will subscribe, so it's just this channel over here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because it is free. It will always stay free. No Patreon, no GoFundMe, no nonsense like that at all. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
We're back on.